and welcome to another exciting episode of the Team Lead Talks podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Becker. On today's episode, we have Hannah Price, the team lead of the Rise Collective team in Clarksville, Tennessee. Welcome, Hannah.
Hello, Andrew. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm excited we finally got to do this. We actually met, like a month or two ago?
Yes.
At a co-founders group event up in Hackensack, New Jersey.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we did. That randomly in the back seat of the car on the way to somewhere else. We were just like brainstorming and sparking. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to know this Andrew guy and what you're doing. And turns out we have a lot of alignment. So yes. I'm happy to be on here today.
Yeah. Well, I share that same regard with, I was super happy to meet you. You actually spoke on stage there and delivered an awesome presentation, super impressive. And I knew I had to ask if you could be on here because I think you have a lot that you can share with people. And Hannah, remember when we were talking about having you, the ultimate goal of, anyone listening today is if they can pick up on one thing that will better their career, their team, their business, or most importantly, their life. That's what we're trying to shoot for. So I'm really excited to hear your journey, and I think listeners will really take away something special. But let's dive right into it. You're an absolute killer in Tennessee. I know you close close to 200 deals a year, so we're going to unpack that. Okay. But first and foremost, Hannah, tell us a little bit about who you are, how you got into real estate, and a little bit about how you started a team, and then we'll get going.
Yes. Okay. So who I am.
Who are you, Hannah?
Who am I? So Clarksville, Tennessee is where I am now. So I think I should just rewind. We don't have to rewind too far. But when I was in college, I was going to school for nursing in Alaska. I'm from California, but that was like where I wanted to go to school. Like I grew up in a big family. I have 8 brothers, 2 sisters, same dad. We're not Mormon. We're not Catholic.
You did not mention that to me when we met in New Jersey, by the way. Yeah. So that's a shock to me.
Yeah. But so big old family, and I was homeschooled through and through. Like never went to public school. My mom homeschooled all of us. She's a saint. And my dad always talked about like Alaska. We'd never been. So I was like, I'm going to Alaska and I'm going to finish out my nursing school there. So I moved to Alaska, and that's where I met my husband when I was in college. He was in the military. And fast forward, he gets stationed at Fort Campbell in Tennessee, and that's what brought us here. So I'm finishing up nursing school, and he's deployed, and I'm alone and don't have to work multiple jobs for the first time in my life. And we bought our first house with no agent because I was like, we don't need an agent. Who needs an agent? So we bought our first house without an agent from a for sale by owner. And that was about as well as you can imagine it went. Not well.
Yes, pretty poorly, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Very poorly. And then, but that kind of led to me getting into real estate. So like fixed up this house while my husband was deployed. He let me buy our first flip property while he was deployed. We had like $15,000 between the two of us. And I'm like, we're going to flip a house, baby. He's like, do it. And so anyway, we flipped a house, and then we flipped another house. And then now I'm like, I had a mentor that was like, Hannah, you should get your real estate license so you can stop paying commissions. And I'm like, yeah, these agents aren't worth nothing. I don't want to pay them 3% commission. I'll get it so I can avoid agents, but I'm not going to be a realtor because I was better than that.
Yes. Of course.
I was going to do something with my life and be a nurse. Nothing's wrong with being a nurse. Nurses are freaking amazing. But that was like, the real estate agent was like the lowest on the totem pole it could ever go. So only do it so I can avoid paying them. And then, got my license and was like, shoot, agents do make some good money and I'm decent at sales. So here I am, had my team for the past 10 years here in Clarksville and have just learned so much and am still learning so much. And that's what I think real estate
Very cool.
So that's
very awesome backstory. Thank you, or your husband, for his service, by the way. Very admirable that you were able to do that while he was deployed. And I'm sure he was grateful and thankful that you, successfully flipped a couple houses when he was gone? Like, what happened there?
I think I made like $7,000. So
that's not bad.
We're going to call that success.
Well, collectively or like for the first one?
For the first flip.
Okay.
which is not great for a flip. But you
For
know
your
what?
first flip, most people lose money, Hannah. So 7K profit is great.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And sometimes like you lose to learn. So it's not a
Yes.
loss, you know? Like even in real estate as an agent, it's like it's not going to be win 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 win. You have to get the reps in. So however many ways you can do that is the only way to get more successful. So I just it wasn't a loss. If I would have never done it, would never be here.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So flash forward, you kind of got your start in real estate that way, flipping first, and then, in your own words, to avoid paying a commission to agents.
Those agents.
But now you run a super high volume, high transaction team. Can you give us what did you do last year? What are you doing this year?
So last year we closed close to 150 houses, and we'll probably be around the same this year.
Awesome. And walk us through your team structure. How are you organized? You're the team lead at Rise Collective team, but walk us through the rest of the
Yeah.
members on your team.
Okay, so I have a boutique team. So I run more of a high referral model where I generate referral leads only. We don't pay for ads. It's 100% referred. And I have 3 agents that assist with some of my transactions. So myself, 2 showing agents, a transaction coordinator, a listing coordinator, and a personal assistant. That is the team that services me and my clients.
Okay.
So I will work primarily on the seller side directly. On the buyer side, I will partner with my showing partners. They will show, I will strategize, I will negotiate. And then my TC, my listing coordinator, and my assistant, white glove service.
Awesome. So really when you're working with any client, this is a really cool team structure. There's so many different structures
So
out
many
there.
ways.
So this is the way you end up setting yours up. But
Yes.
it sounds like to me when somebody hires Rise Collective team that they're working with, I didn't do the math in my head, but 6 or 7 people who all have the one main goal of either selling their listing or if they're a buyer, helping them find the home for them.
Yes. So they will not have direct contact with everyone. Once we have like a client relationship, it will be myself and 2 other team members that will service. The rest is kind of in the back end. But yeah, it is definitely, I think what is cool about real estate is you have to find the model that works for you. So
Right.
there are teams where you have 10 or 20 agents, and that's a beautiful model for someone that desires that or has like the strengths for that individually. For me, I've kind of played around with different models over the years and have found that I am in my strengths and gifts and just like the most fulfilled when
Mhm.
it's this boutique style. And I'm actually, Andrew, right now, I am intentionally scaling back my volume because
Okay.
I have a vision for a just more refined model where my price points are higher. And while I am 100% referred, the type of people that I want to work with,
Hmm.
like, I got to be fulfilled. This has to be fun for me. And
Yeah.
the people we work with in the industry is everything, clients and agents too. So right now, I don't plan on growing my team anymore. This is the team that I want. And we're going to increase price points, which will help volume. So that will be our growth area. And
Yep.
we're going to increase just the client experience, our systems, our processes, making it duplicatable. So it's not like some have a good experience and some don't. And sometimes we do these really great things and sometimes we don't.
Yep.
We've talked about that of just like creating systems and scalability and repeatability is not easy. But I think after 10 years in the industry, like I'm falling more in love with that than I
Yes.
am like, oh, to go close more houses and let's do 250. The desire now is to grow in different areas other than just transactions.
Yep.
Everybody needs to decide like, don't just chase what you're supposed to chase. Find something that resonates with you. Because if you can do that, then you'll be the most successful. And it takes a process of elimination. So you got to
Yeah.
like,
It's a good approach, Hannah. I mean, you know me from our conversations that we had since New Jersey. I'm an OCD systems guy who likes predictable and repeatable. So if you can master that,
yes,
anyone on your team should be able to do anything. And for me on the tail end, it's if something does go awry or wrong, you can easily audit it to be like, Hannah, when this happens, 3 things are supposed to happen. Which one didn't you do? And it's super easy to figure out.
Yes, and it sets your team up for success, because I think to grow in real estate, it requires a team. If you want to do more than 20 or so transactions a year, you're going to need a TC, you're going to need an assistant, you're going to need help to grow if you want to grow more. And the biggest reason that there's turnover is people are unsatisfied in the work environment. We have the expectations, they're not fulfilling them, but we're not setting them up for success because we're not delivering them. Like, people don't want to go to work and screw up.
Yeah.
Like, they're working for you because they are a supportive personality and they want to please.
Yep.
And so the systems and the processes truly allow for more longevity with the team, but it is the only way for growth and quality of life. Like, you can grow and be a total hot mess, and sometimes that's part of the journey.
Yep.
But I think to have scalability where you're consistently delivering on your promises and you actually have quality of life, because there's not fires all over the place because you have no systems.
Yeah.
You have to invest in systems and processes and your people.
Yeah. It's a quality control thing, Hannah, where you're overseeing an operation, but everyone has clearly defined roles and responsibilities. And think of it this way too, for the people on your team, they're coming into a business that's running like a business.
Yes.
And not shooting from the hip, where like everyone does something different each and every time. Like you said before, that's where chaos ensues. And that's where I think a lot of teams struggle when they don't have any sort of system or process set up.
Because it's hard to build. I feel like this past year and a half, I, done well enough with it over the years, but not to any degree that I'm proud of. And for the systems and repeatability, but like, we're the salesperson as the agent. So we're generating leads, we're selling, we're showing houses, we're listing houses, we're doing the walkthroughs, we're going to the closings, we're doing all this stuff. So it's like building predictable systems and processes, and developing yourself as a leader and a manager takes time.
Yes.
And it's so hard to put time on your schedule for that, because everything's just reactionary because there's so much to do.
Yeah, trying to just get the deals to close that you're working with. And that's called working in versus on. So if you can work on the business and get it done in an MVP version, at least that's something, it's tangible. And then you tweak and pivot as you go.
100%. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's hard to slow down as like the squirrels and the salespeople that we are, to actually invest in that. But I think that laying that foundation is so important, and it could come at a price. Like, I'll be honest, like, I've been doing the high volume for so long, and I kind of reached a point 2 years ago now where I'm like, every time someone would leave, chaos, and then I'm inserted right back into the weeds, and the 2 years of me downloading into them walks off with them. Yeah. And now I got to do it. And I was like, I'm over this. I'm going to freaking get out of real estate if this is what it is, where I build this team, I build these people. I'm not mad at them for leaving. I support them. They grew, and I didn't have a spot for them to be, like, to grow into, because I'm a small team.
Yeah.
But I'm like, quality, no quality, quality, no quality. And I'm like, I won't do this way anymore. And I just like didn't care. Make a dollar, make no dollars. Literally, like, I was done. And so I took, and there were some months where I made negative dollars, because when you have big team, you have big overhead.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Yeah. There was one month where I lost $50,000. I was making these calls and pivoting because I was so tired and so burnt out because there was no foundation, no good systems. And I was like, I don't care. Like, can't obviously sustain this, but I'm not just going to keep running this fly by the seat of my pants operation.
Right.
And so for the past year and a half, I have been a psycho about where I'm going to grow is as a leader in management and systems. And then I'm going to focus on the right client and the right price point. Boom. That's the plan.
That sounds like a great plan.
Yeah.
So you're in the middle of this, but one thing that kind of caught my attention that you said earlier, Hannah, was you're doing awesome numbers. I know you're kind of tweaking your model to do less numbers at a higher volume, but you said that you did all of that basically through referral, word of mouth, with zero ad spend.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of people listening who are, a lot of people and teams are struggling right now, especially solo agents, in my opinion. Like, I need leads. But you just kind of said that nonchalantly, like, oh, I get 150 deals just from referrals. I'm assuming a lot of people are wondering how in the heck you're doing that. Can you kind of walk us through that lead engine? Because that's really important and very impressive.
Yes, sure. The first thing I think that I'll like touch on is when I started, I was all ads. So when I started as a newbie agent, I was super excited. I was like, oh my God, commissions. And if I pay for these ads, then I'll get this. And that was profitable. I was paying for Zillow.
Okay.
And then I went through different models of my team, and then it was like not profitable because I'm handing out all the leads and then I'm not making the profit. You know
Right.
that game, Andrew, I'm sure.
Yes.
And so I started with ads, and then it was just like not super profitable, and also a lot of people that'll just drag you around. They don't respect you. They don't respect your time. You're the real estate agent that's at their beck and call, and those are internet leads. So I knew that I didn't enjoy that. So 6 years ago, I joined a coaching program called the Core Coaching.
Okay.
And they have taught me how to run a actual business and a referral lead gen business. And I went from 80% ads getting no referrals to the business that I run today, which is 100% referred, and I probably made that switch, I don't know, a few years after joining the core.
Okay.
So from 100% ads essentially to 100% referred was about a 3-year process. And I would say that the first thing to realize is just realizing how much more money you're going to make off of referred leads, the conversion ratio. Internet leads convert at 3% if they're good. So you got to talk to 100 people to close, or what am I trying to say? You got to talk to so many people. Okay. 3% conversion ratio.
Yes. Yeah. Low conversion after a lot of conversations, it equals no good.
Exactly.
Yes.
A referred lead typically will convert at 50%. So if you just take all the time that you're already spending chasing down leads that don't really care about you and don't really want to work with you, and you got to twist their arm to convince them that you're the agent, that same amount of time shifted into warm lead activity, you can't fail. So what is the warm lead activity?
Yeah.
Here it is, guys. Here it is.
How do you do this?
Yes. Okay. So the first place to start is your database, which is your past clients, any leads that you ever have. So you got to have a CRM. You have to. If you want a warm business, you need to have a CRM. I happen to know somebody who built an incredible CRM. I don't know if you've heard of it, Andrew, Billions.
No, tell me more.
Weird. We'll talk about it more.
Cool.
So you must have a CRM. And then you must organize it. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but we are already sitting on so many leads of people that anybody you've ever had a real estate conversation with. So as simple as it is, the easiest way to start generating more leads is just to start calling anybody that you have ever had a real estate conversation with.
Okay.
And they're hopefully saved in your CRM.
And what do you say to them, Hannah, on the phone?
Okay. So if it's a past client that is, just a past client, you're going to check in. You're going to check in with them. This is kind of a caveat to like another piece of it. But so I have a past client plan. So I have my top 400 past clients, and they're going to get 2 calls every single year, one on their anniversary and one based off of their last name. So the A's, the B's, the C's, they all just kind of get called through the year. And what I say, if it's their home anniversary, this is the easiest call you could ever make. Because what do you say to your past clients, right?
Yeah.
This is the one. This is like the gem of all gem, which is why it's good to have a CRM, because then you can save.
Yeah. We're about to learn gold here, people, so pay attention.
Yes. And then you just call them. So I could show you right now. I click a button. I see my past clients' anniversaries. Hey, Andrew, I was just calling you. It is your home anniversary. Did you know that you bought your house, 3 years ago on this week? Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh. Yes. It's your home anniversary. How have things been going? How are you doing? How's the house?
Very good.
Good. Okay. Here's the golden question.
Yeah.
Is your house still checking all those long-term boxes for you?
No, we had 4 more kids and it's too small for us now.
Oh my gosh. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So this is the golden question. It is the best opener that I think I've ever come up with for past client calls, because you don't want to be like, well, do you want to sell your house? That's the only reason I'm calling, and now you're going to know it. You don't want to be that agent, especially if you haven't talked with them in a while.
Yeah.
They're just going to see right through it, and it's not going to be genuine. They're not going to call you when they want to sell. So asking that question is my golden opener, which is your house still checking all the long-term boxes for you? And it's long-term boxes. So we're not asking, do you want to sell today? Do you want to sell this year?
Right.
Is this your like long-term, those long-term boxes is still checking all that? So often I will get people that will say, well, no, but we're not looking to sell for a couple years, but we're probably going to be moving out of Tennessee, blah, blah, blah. Then
Okay.
I'm just asking them more questions. And if it's good, we'll set an appointment. And if they're not ready, then I'll set the follow-up.
You set the follow-up on the call with them.
Yeah. So amazing. Okay, well, it's all going to depend on when your husband retires. Okay, perfect. Well, I'll just check in with you in a few months. If you have any questions in the meantime, let me know. Like on these calls for your database, you're looking for ways to add value.
Mm-hmm.
Find the opportunity, whether that's a connection with someone, whether that's helping them understand the market, whether that's a free market analysis, whether that's a contractor. Like I am desperately searching and asking questions to uncover how I can insert value.
Okay, so you're playing detective after your genius opening question. You're then switching over to like detective,
Yes.
trying to figure out if there's something, oh yeah, it does, but we're renovating and looking to do this. Let me introduce you to a contractor that I've been working with for 10 years.
Exactly. Yes. Just any ways to add value. And it's easy. Well, what have you done to the house since you've been there? Are you working on any projects? Like those are easy conversation starters. Like you're just looking to maintain a connection. Because if we're not calling them, they're going to forget about you.
Yeah.
And they should. Like you don't remember the person that sold you your car 2 years ago.
Right.
They never called you. They never followed up. They're not in mind. So they're gone. So this is just a way to stay top of mind and add value. So 2 calls a year,
Okay.
anniversary call, letter of the week call. And
Can I ask a question? Beyond calls, are you also placing your top 400 on some? Do you do like a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly newsletter or anything like that?
Yes. So we do a couple different things. Every month, they're going to get a market update email. So this is a value add market update video where I'm like, hey, here's the market update. I'm looking for things that a homeowner would want to hear, not necessarily someone that's just trying to sell their house. And then, so that's like a Canva template and we send it out through BombBomb and I insert a video. So I cut like a 60-second, 1-minute video. Hey, this is what's going on. Here's your homeowner tip of the month. If you want to pay off your mortgage 7 years fast, then switch your blah, blah, blah. So adding value. And there's like a couple, like the new restaurant that opened up and then like a client review. So it's like a newsletter. So 2 phone calls, an email every month. And then I do mailing also. So I send out a postcard every month. And this is like the evidence of success. So it's not like a recipe or happy Thanksgiving. On the postcard are going to be things that just help keep me top of mind. So like I have a picture of a family that just closed with a review. Our stats are like our houses and where I'm at in Clarksville, we sell 4 times faster than the rest of the market. So if the average days on market's 40, ours are 10. So I'll put that stat on the front of a postcard and then on the back is a picture of me. It's very personable. So they're going to get something that shows like our evidence of success once a month.
Right. Yep. Yeah, to show you're active, you're actually selling, you're actually helping people. Okay, cool.
Absolutely. And then the last thing that we do is we do 2 client events every year. And we do one in the summer, we do one in the winter, and we just invite everybody out. So they are not going to forget about us.
Right.
And simply because of that, and because they had a good experience and they didn't forget about us, we're going to get their business again. I think that, I don't know, like over 50% of my business now is like my database.
Okay. Hannah, you're doing this with 400 of your top clients or past clients, I should say, that you've already helped. But are they at the same time, like that's repeat business from people you've already done business with? Are they simultaneously referring you to their friends and family? Is that part of it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They refer. And I ask for the referrals too.
Yeah,
so
that's a big piece, people. Like,
yes.
You always assume that your past clients will work with you or even your high school friends or college friends, but they won't. Never assume. But also, I fell, victim to this on my own team. We never asked for referrals because we're like, oh, if they have someone, they're going to refer us. Like, we don't need to ask, but that's not true. It couldn't be further from the truth. So that's a really, really important aspect. So how do you go about that?
Such a good question. Hey, Andrew, by the way, who else do you know that's thinking about buying or selling a house?
Oh, actually, my parents are.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm going to ask you a few questions about your parents. What's your parents' name, by the way?
Howard and Susan.
Howard and Susan? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's do this. What is a good number for them? And then I'm going to let you talk to them first. And then once you give me the green light, I'll just give them a call. Then I can be available to them. If it's now, if it's later, at least they'll have someone good on their side. So what's a good number for them? And then I'll wait for your green light until I reach out. You're going to give me that number. That's 80% of the time.
Obviously super easy. Yeah, but something that a lot of people don't do. I'm sure a lot of people do also. I just wasn't one of them, but there's an opportunity cost to that, and we paid for it big time.
Well, I think when you ask for the referral, the biggest advice that I could have, because like I get a lot of referrals, and my team and I, we coach on this every day. Don't tee someone up. Make it super casual. The intro is literally, hey, by the way, who else do you know? That is it. Hey, by the way, who else do you know? That is how I ask for referral every single time. Because if I was like, well, Andrew, it's been so great working with you. And I love working with people just like you. Like, where am I going? A pitch is coming.
Yeah.
Your spidey senses are like, pitch, 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 pitch. You're subconsciously already going to put up defenses because I'm leading you somewhere and you just don't know where.
Mm-hmm.
Don't lead them anywhere. If you did a good job for someone, ask for the referral in the most casual way. Like, if you're awkward, they're going to sense it. So just, hey, by the way, I teach my agents, like, shrug your shoulders when you practice this. It's the body language that transfers to, like, the delivery. Hey, by the way. Right. Hey, by the way.
Like, it's so nonchalant what you're doing right now.
Yeah. And then it's just normal. So then, and when you ask for the phone number, like, I didn't ask you, can I have their number? What's a good number for them?
Yeah.
So there's like
open-ended, not yes or no.
Yes. These little things. Last thing I'll say on getting referrals successfully is ask in the beginning. You don't have to wait until closing to ask. So first meeting with people, I will leave my very first meeting with clients. 30% of the time I walk out of the room with the referral. So nothing has gone wrong. They're not exhausted. They're not wondering why you're not sending them houses and they're finding them all themselves on Zillow. Like, nothing is wrong. It is peak the first time you meet with someone. And so that's when I ask for the first referral and have the highest chance of getting it.
Very cool. And is that baked in? We talked earlier, obviously, about predictable, repeatable steps. Is that baked into what you and your agents do each and every time, no matter what?
It sure is. It sure is. So we won't work with someone and just sporadically show them houses. So if we're going to work with a client, they're going to meet at our office. I would highly recommend this for anyone. This sets you up as a professional. You're not just somebody that's going to do what they tell you. You're the professional that's going to advise them. So you have to set that tone. Yeah. So we meet at the office, and whether it's a seller or a buyer, we meet at the office with both of them. And that's where they'll sign the rep or the listing. It's first meeting at the office. And so when we're doing that, let's say we go through our presentation, we go through our process. Andrew, you just signed a listing agreement with me. And at the end, you sign the paper. And I'm like, all right, Andrew. So now that you're my client, I have to know some fun things about you because I'm just extra like that. And I have a form that's just like things about them. Favorite candy, favorite ice cream. What are your hobbies? Yeah. What's your favorite, drink of choice? And then I ask, this is literally part of the process. And my agent's like, we had a couple meetings like this week and I asked him literally yesterday, I was like, did you ask the 2 questions? And he's like, I asked him because it's on the form. So you break the ice with getting all about them. And if anyone's watching, wants any of this stuff, like, I'm such an open book. I have it all. I could just literally send you the link, anything. So you get the information, you have fun. Now we're laughing. Now you're telling me your favorite candy. Now I know where you and your wife want to go for date night. And then I say the 2 questions, and they're written in small font. on this form that I'm filling out. Okay, Andrew, so I have a
Mhm.
question for you. 2 more questions. And they're like, ooh. And that's I kind of want to make it funny, but also like they know 2 questions are coming. At any point, if there's anything I can do better
Yeah, there's
during,
build up here. I'm really curious.
yes. Okay, so question number 1 is, if at any point, Andrew, there's anything that I can do better, that my team can do better, if anything gets in the way of you having the most incredible experience ever, would you let me know? And I wait for them to tell me, like, and I mean this too, like, I have thick skin. I want to know if anything goes wrong. And then they're like, oh, of course, thank you so much. They're honored that I'm giving them the opportunity for feedback, right? And then I say, okay, so my next question is,
Yeah.
who else do you know that's thinking
Yep.
about buying or selling? And I wait for them to answer. And so, and then they'll be like, oh, well, let me think about it, And then I'll feed them ideas like coworkers, this or that. But those are literally like my golden questions at the very end of the appointment. And you don't have to have an all about you if you don't want to use one of those, but that's a really nice segue
Right.
into earning the ask, because now they feel good. I just spent all this time on them. They want to give me something back.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah,
And
30%.
what's the success rate on that? You said
No,
30% of the
like
time?
30%. I will walk out with multiple referrals from having
Nice.
the appointment that way.
Very cool. So you do that when you first sign them in your office, but then you also said at the end of the relationship or the end of the transaction, is it the same thing or do you change it
No,
up at all?
from there it's organic. It's just organic from there. If you do
Cool.
a good
And
job and you
then
ask them,
Hannah, do you also simultaneously
go ahead. No, go ahead. There was a little lag, but
Yeah, sorry. I think there's a bit of a drag here. But do you also have the similar approach for like getting reviews and do you do video testimonials and those types of things as well when you're asking for referrals?
I could do better with that. We don't have a solidified process around video testimonials or reviews. We ask for reviews at the end of a transaction, send them the links, but we have a good amount of reviews, but that's not something that I would say is like, do it this way.
They necessarily pushing. Cool. Okay, so we've talked a lot about how you're extremely good at getting referrals and extremely good at doing that on the front end and on the back end. Can you briefly just kind of talk about you? So you have this like unified team approach to handling different things. Like someone wants to work with you, you're kind of the quarterback here, but how are you overseeing what gets done by who in a timely manner and communicating all of this with your clients at the same time? Okay, so Hannah, you kind of talked about what you do to ask for a referral and get your new business on, the initial meeting and then obviously when the transaction is closed, but walk us through because you have this unified team approach where everyone kind of helps everyone get to the finish line. But walk us through you're meeting with a prospect and you sign them. Like what happens from there? How do you set expectations with the people you're working with? And then
Yeah.
how do you make sure things on, people on the team are doing what they need to do?
Yes. Okay. So I'll share more on the buyer side. So I think the fear of most agents in letting go is like people want to work with me. So if I have a team and if other people are talking to my clients, will they have the same experience? Will the job get done? So for me, I will convert the lead to an appointment. At the appointment for a buyer, I will introduce my showing partners. My showing partner will be with me for the entire appointment. And we have kind of tag team who's what we say in the appointment, and I'll talk about this, they'll talk about that. So then they're building rapport too. But the overarching conversation is you get, 2 agents, like lucky you.
Yeah.
You get 2 agents that are going to be working for you. My role is going to be to set the strategy and negotiate you the best deal. So when you are ready to make an offer on a house, you and I are going to get on a strategy call and we're going to put together the best offer. My partner Jariel, he's going to find you the house. So he's going to be the one showing you. He's available on weekends, evenings, and he's going to make sure we find the house. So I'm going to let him ask you all the questions about what you are looking for in a house, and then I'll share on like what's happening in the market.
Sure.
And so that's how we set it up. And then after that appointment, there's like a list of like, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens. It's a group text from my showing partner. It's an email follow-up, and then they will call that client. They have a weekly status call every single week until we find a house. I will also have a status call to maintain rapport as well. So I think something crucial to having a team is making sure you have good flow of communication. I think that is what helps make sure that they're in the know, I'm in the know, and we do that through a daily meeting. So we have a daily team huddle, and there's a specific thing that my showing partner brings to the meeting. I want to know, who did you meet with yesterday? What have you followed up from those appointments? And an update on any showings that have happened. So he prepares and comes to the meeting with those things. And that's every day. So I'm in the know, and it's a really good form of like a good way for me to coach them, but then also for accountability for whatever happened yesterday. Are we doing what we need to do today?
Yep. And I think it goes to something you said earlier as well, like setting expectations and being, you're the professional. And a lot of people do. And I struggled with this as well, Hannah, when we started to like give away oversight of things and give, leads to different people on the team. But as long as you set expectations with the clients and say, hey, this is how we operate. This is like who you're going to be working with. It's not always going to be me. It's going to be, Andrew and Hannah together and all this. Like that is what I think, in my opinion, makes you seem even more credible and professional versus like these blind handoffs and they have no idea what's happening or who this person is. And that's the only way you really scale, honestly.
And that goes back, Andrew, to the systems and processes, because you can't have someone else do the things they need to do without having set them up for success for it. You won't trust that it will be done, and it probably won't be done. And then you'll be disappointed and they'll be disappointed and the client will be disappointed. But you said expectations, and that is so, so, so crucial. Whatever the expectation is the experience.
Yes.
And I still have room for growth in this. We just had our quarterly meeting a week ago, and one of my team members was like, hey, I'm getting comments like, well, I haven't seen Hannah this whole time, and you've been doing all the work. You should get all the commission. And that speaks to the fact, I'm like, well, yeah, that's your job. Like, I wasn't planning on being in communication with them any more than I have been.
Right.
But then realized, like, that's because I didn't set the expectation right.
Yep.
They're disappointed because they had a different picture in their mind. And I thought I was setting the expectation.
Yeah, so Hannah, that's both good and bad. Good that you're getting the feedback to make, progressive changes to make sure it doesn't happen again. Bad that it was a missed opportunity to set expectations, but that is business and life sometimes. But the fact that you're aware of it is, ahead of 99% of the people in the game sometimes. But really awesome stuff on this episode, Hannah. I think you have a really impressive business. Such a great person to be able to sit down for about an hour and talk about the business and talk about what you have going on. I'm so really glad we got to connect in New Jersey and do this together. Thank you so much for being here. If somebody does want to get in touch with you, Hannah, and they're in the Tennessee area, how would one go about doing that?
Yeah, so you can reach out to me. You can call me. You can email me. You can hit me up on Instagram. Any of those avenues work. So yes, absolutely. And I'm a huge, I'm open-handed with everything. So on the agent side, not just if you have a client, but if you're looking for any of the resources or things or my templates that we talked about today, just reach out to me.
Cool. And for those of you listening, we will include all of your contact information in the description of the episode. So look down and we'll include your website, your cell phone, all that good stuff that we'll get from you, Hannah. But thank you so much again for being here. I had a really fun time today.
Yes, thank you so much, Andrew.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.